Love has its storms, and sometimes, it's those very storms that test the strength of what was meant to last forever. For Becky and Freen, two hearts who have walked together through fame, pressure, and the unpredictable chaos of public life, their love story has never been a straight path. It has been raw, real, and achingly beautiful. And now, after months of speculation, emotional ups and downs, and one unforgettable fight that left fans worried and divided, the couple has finally silenced every rumor by announcing the most shocking and heart-melting news of all. They're getting married. When the news broke, the internet exploded. Fans across the world went from disbelief to pure joy in a matter of seconds. Just weeks ago, Becky and Freen were trending for a rumored breakup after what insiders called a major disagreement that led to days of silence between them. Those who followed their journey closely could sense the tension, the distance in their smiles, the quiet moments that spoke louder than words. People feared it was the end of one of the most beloved partnerships in recent memory. But as it turns out, love had one more surprise waiting. According to close friends, the couple's fight wasn't about falling out of love, it was about learning how to grow together. Fame had placed them under a blinding spotlight, where every word, every gesture, and every silence was dissected by millions. For two people who started off simply as friends with a shared dream, the sudden weight of fame and expectation was overwhelming. But rather than letting it destroy what they had, Becky and Freen used it as a mirror, to reflect, to heal, and to remember why they fell in love in the first place. Their announcement wasn't made through a glamorous press event or a publicity stunt. It came quietly, just a simple, heartfelt post with a caption that said, "Forever begins here." Attached was a photo of them holding hands under soft golden light, their eyes glistening with the kind of peace that only comes after weathering the hardest storms together. Within minutes, the post went viral. Fans flooded the comment sections with tears, heart emojis, and disbelief. The emotional contrast, from fearing they had broken up to realizing they were stepping into forever, left everyone reeling. Sources close to the couple shared that the huge fight everyone talked about was actually a breaking point that turned into a breakthrough. It was the kind of confrontation that forced honesty. Not just about their relationship, but about their fears, their dreams, and the parts of themselves that fame had quietly changed. After days apart, they reunited privately and talked through everything, promising each other that they would stop running from love just because it's hard to maintain under the spotlight. It was then, in that quiet, honest moment, that the idea of marriage came naturally. Not as a performance, but as a promise. "Love isn't always gentle," Becky once said in an interview. "Sometimes it's loud and messy and painful. But if it's real, it always finds its way back." That quote now feels prophetic, echoing through every photo, every shared laugh, every loving glance they've shown since the announcement. Fans who have followed their journey from day one know how much they've endured. The endless rumors, the separation during filming schedules, the online noise that often tried to twist their bond into something fragile. Yet every time the world tried to pull them apart, they found new ways to hold on tighter. Their wedding news feels like the ultimate victory. Not just for them, but for everyone who believes that love can survive even the harshest tests. What makes this story even more emotional is how genuine their love feels. There's no flashy ring reveal, no over-the-top announcement. Just two people choosing each other, again and again, in a world that's constantly trying to pull them apart. In their own way, Becky and Freen have become a symbol, not of perfection, but of perseverance. They've shown that love isn't about never fighting, but about always finding your way back home after the storm. The date they announced, a simple, elegant line in the caption, sent fans into a frenzy. It wasn't just a date, it was a statement. A reminder that time doesn't destroy true love, it only deepens it. People across social media began sharing their favorite memories of the couple. The first interviews that made them laugh, the on-screen chemistry that felt almost too real, the little gestures that said more than words ever could. As messages poured in from across the globe, one could almost feel the collective sigh of relief and happiness. After everything, after all the heartbreak and headlines, the couple's story had found its way to a new chapter, one written in gold. Some fans even said they cried while reading the announcement, describing it as a moment of pure magic in a world that desperately needs love stories like this. Insiders revealed that the wedding will be an intimate affair, surrounded by close friends, family, and a few people who've supported their journey from the start. There's talk that they plan to exchange vows in a private garden surrounded by soft candlelight and flowers. Not for the spectacle, but for the sincerity. They want it to be about them, one source said. About the love that got them here, not the noise that tried to drown them. In the hours following their announcement, Becky and Freen were spotted together, holding hands, smiling, and laughing in a way that only two people who've survived the worst can. There's a new light in their eyes, one that speaks of forgiveness, growth, and the kind of peace that comes from choosing love every single day. Fans couldn't stop replaying short clips of them together, and for once, it wasn't about analyzing every detail. It was about celebrating something real. Love stories like this remind us why people believe in second chances. They remind us that love isn't always perfect, but it's always worth it. For Becky and Freen, their fight didn't break them. It built them into something stronger, something unshakable. Their decision to move forward together, to declare their love in the most permanent way possible, shows what true commitment looks like. It's not just about romance, it's about resilience. As one fan beautifully wrote, they've shown us that love isn't about avoiding storms, it's about learning to dance in the rain. And indeed, Becky and Freen are dancing, not to prove anything to the world, but simply because they can. Because after everything, they're still standing, still smiling, and still in love. In the end, it doesn't matter how public their story has been. What matters is that when everything seemed uncertain, they chose to love anyway. They chose to stay. They chose forever. And in doing so, they reminded everyone watching that even the most fragile hearts can find strength again when love is true. So yes, it's breaking news, but it's also healing news. A story not of scandal, but of reconciliation. Not of heartbreak, but of hope. And as the countdown to their wedding begins, fans everywhere are holding their breath, ready to witness a love story that, against all odds, refused to end. Because sometimes, the most beautiful beginnings come right after the hardest goodbyes, and Becky and Freen's story is proof that real love always finds its way home.